Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam, thanks for hanging out with me again today. And on today's video, well, we're going to do a quick review of DEERC 1205. DEERC kindly sent this over for review. So this is their 1205, which is a 2 to 3S capable brushless, believe it's about an 18th scale little basher. So let me get that out of the way. Boom. It is actually a really cool looking little truck. So before we dive into this, let me quickly take you through what you get in the box. So of course, instructions. The instructions have parts list with exploded views with all the part numbers on there. So if you do break something, you should be able to quickly identify it, find the part number, head over to Amazon, try to pick one up. You also get a full set of spare wheels. Exact same thing that came on the truck, just a full extra set. Perfect for you guys that are racing around your driveway, out in the street, where pavement and concrete and stuff is going to tear up knobby tires quickly. So you can have one for racing out on the street and then have another nice sharp edged pair for running out in the dirt. You get, of course, your radio. It is a no frills-ish radio, but does have a nice foam grip on there. Everything is comfortable, feels well. You get steering trim, steering dual rate, throttle dual rate, and there's also some chassis light things that you can change on here. We'll show you that in a minute. Of course, you get some tools. You get a tiny little crosshead Phillips screwdriver, your cross wrench, the obligatory wrench of every RC ever made. It does come with really nice red anodized wheel nuts on there, and you get a full set of red anodized wheel nuts and cross pins for the wheel X's in case you lose one of those. You get another set of, well, a pair of body pins and the rubber retainers. So it is nice that they include some extra retainers in the kit. You shouldn't be losing too many body pins, but occasionally you will rip one of these just by tugging on it too hard. So it is nice to give you those. And I thought it was really cool, you get a full set of front, upper and lower arms, as well as the steering block. So in case you do whack something with the front end of this and break it, you have a full set. I believe the rears, the rears are different. So, but generally you're going to break the front. So they give you a full set of left and right. Now, if you break an upper arm on one side and then you break an upper arm on the same side, you can swap these out. It's really the steering knuckles are the only difference. So that is kind of what you get in the box. Standard fare mostly, except for the wheels. Not too many RCs come with full sets. Sometimes you get a set of paddles with them, but this one you get 2 full sets. Now, when you get this out of the box, the body does have the full plastic covering on there, which is kind of nice, kind of annoying, because on this one you do have to take some stuff off to get the plastic fully off of there. I tried just pulling it off just to see how much of a pain it was, and the roof skids, the front grille area, which is part of the under body support, and this rear bumper section all have to get unscrewed to get the plastic to come off cleanly. Now, you could come in with a razor knife and pre-cut around everything, but honestly, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 screws. Quickly pop everything off, pop everything right back on. You don't have to fart around holding on to anything. The cage is all kind of in there, so if you just take these 2 off, pop those off, you can put those 2 back on, and then same thing. Quick and easy. Wasn't a pain, but it was something additional that you have to do. Now, be careful when you pull the body up. You have a wire going into your 2-in-1 ESC and receiver. We'll talk about that shortly. So, underneath the truck, you've got a very compact and I would say kid-friendly layout. Everything in here is nice and tucked away. There's kind of guards to keep you from touching the motor directly if it gets hot. The heatsink is exposed, but the heatsink shouldn't be quite as hot as the motor is. The battery tray is a twist lock, so you have to completely twist it. It pulls up. You can remove your battery. It snaps back down, and you rotate it around, and it kind of locks into place. So you're going to have to hit it with a car, I think, for that battery to come flying out of here. It actually has some molded in grooves on the top that the arm folds over and locks into place, as well as the bottom of the battery has a groove in it that keys into the bottom of the chassis. So again, you're going to have to send this off the side of a mountain for that battery to eject. Your ESC has a Dean's plug, which the ends of the proprietary batteries have Dean slots, so you can just literally wrap it around, plug it right in. It's nice and tucked out of the way. 45 amp ESC, and this is a 4,500 kV 2847 size motor in here. Now the ESC is an all-in-one. It's all, your receiver and your ESC is all together. For this one, I understand why, because there's not a whole lot of room up underneath here to put stuff, and this also has your light controller built in because you can cycle through light modes on this. So I understand why they did that. It has a 3-wire, 2 kilogram micro servo with metal gears. The drivetrain is all metal. The diff gears are metal. The drive shaft, the drive gears. So everything in here should be a tough metal drivetrain. It does have oil-filled aluminum body shocks. They're a little heavy on the oil. It's kind of slow dampening. We'll see how it goes. It may be a little bit bouncy, but obviously you can tune the shocks with changing the oil out. That's not a big deal. They do have adjustable spring tensions on there, so if you wanted to put some more spring tension in there, I don't think you need it. For as small and light as this is, it's sprung pretty well. Like I said, you get a full set of front and upper and lower arms, as well as the steering knuckles. Your tie rods are just plastic links, so they're fixed. It does have some very beefy CVDs all the way around, so basically all 4 of them should be the same. A very big bumper and a decent sized rear bumper on it. Now it does have the plastic grille bumper section, the skids, and all that is tied into the inner structure to help strengthen up this body. And it has the full interior into it, which you could remove all the inner structure and go in there and paint the drivers, the steering wheel, all that stuff. I just noticed I had a piece of plastic in there. Now, the weird thing with the driver, they're not people. It's a bird, a lizard. I'm not sure. One of them has a helmet. The other one doesn't have a helmet. So obviously the driver is very important. He has the helmet. The co-pilot, not so much. He's just running with no lid. So let me get this plugged back in and we'll get it turned on. So you have underglow control that you can cycle through different colors to suit your mood. You can turn them off by pressing and holding it. I kind of like the little kit car. You just kind of have to cycle through and figure it out. I think it's in the instructions on tells you exactly how to cycle through. The weird one is your driver figures have light up heads. Which, I mean, I guess running at night would look cool. But your bird-headed, iguana-headed driver figures, you can also choose your like it. Now, I know this is geared for kids, and any kid is going to love that, to be able to to be able to change their driver figure color and the underglow to match the mood. So a fun feature for them for sure. I just don't quite understand the animal head deal, but yeah, like I said, it is fun. And again, you just press and hold and you can turn them off, so you don't have to have the lights going. I'll just turn them on just for the heck of it, but I doubt you're gonna be able to see it run around. So this does come with two 2S 2000 milliamp battery packs. Now it does say it's 3S capable. It says on 2S you're able to get 31 miles an hour, and on 3S you're able to get 43 miles an hour. Now, I'm not going to be able to prove those claims because I don't have a paved road right by me. We're just taking this out for a run in the yard. But if it goes anywhere remotely near 31 miles an hour, it is going to be insanely fast for its size out in the yard. Now, as far as putting 3S in here, I'm sure you can. But you probably will have to do some surgery to the interior tray. Basically, like I said, the bottom of these batteries kind of drop down and there's a slot that they sit in the bottom. You're probably going to have to cut out those two little pieces that catch those, that drop down in the battery on the 2S, and remove those completely to fit a decent sized 3S pack in here, depending on what 3S pack you have. If you have one of those triangular, like lithium ion packs, you could probably flip it over, put the triangle down, and stick it in there. It should be just fine. But even if you cut out those grooves to fit a different battery, you can still run these batteries. You're just going to have to put a chunk of foam in there to hold it up tight to that battery strap arm to keep them from like flying out. So what I'm going to do is we're going to stick the battery in here, take it out for a run, and see how it does on the track and out in the grass. I am pretty sure it's going to get tossed around the track. The track is terribly rough. I haven't touched it at all this year for maintenance, so there's a lot of weeds. There's a lot of ruts and bumps and humps from all the water washing across of it this year. So it's probably going to be a handful on the track. But out in the yard, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll come back once I get all that done and we'll talk about it.
Your driver's head's light up when the low battery.
All right, so I literally just got in the house. We're still blinking from the low battery warning, which I like that. Both the underside and the light up driver figures blink that you're going into low voltage. ESC is hot, but not terrible. Motor, pretty daggone toasty. This thing has very low ground clearance, so driving at full speed out there in the tall grass definitely was asking a lot out of it. So I'm not surprised that the motor did get a little hot. You could probably fit a small fan on top of the ESC. The motor, you're going to have to get it, you could possibly get a fan on there as well. The fins look to be the standardized diameter, so you might be able to get 2 screws into that, but it is a fairly narrow little heat sink. So cooling wise, you're definitely going to want to run one battery, let the thing cool off, and then run the other battery. I don't think you'd want to run back-to-back batteries on it. It is bouncy, kind of as expected, but to be fair, even some of the 110 scales out there have problems with the bouncing. The track is an absolute mess, so it did its best out there as well. I think a ball diamond, a baseball field, whatever, driveways, roads out in front of your house, very short cut on, or like the mossy area I have in mind, it did very well. Now, obviously, with the big knobby tires and as small as the truck is, occasionally it would want to traction roll over, but a fun little truck. It definitely took some wild bounces out there. The body, it's got a couple little scuffs and scratches on it. No big deal. Nothing came off. That was good. I didn't do anything to this. I didn't tighten up anything. I didn't check anything. Ran it straight out of the box. It does sound a bit like a drill, so I may dive into here and see if I can loosen off that gear mesh a little bit. Just because normally when you let off the throttle, you should have some free spin to the drivetrain as it's kind of winding down. This one's kind of like let off the throttle, everything stops. So I think gear mesh may be a little tight. I don't know if I'll be able to adjust it, but that may be somebody else's problems. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this to one of my channel members and let them have fun with it. Now, unfortunately, for the channel members, if you guys are outside of the United States, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to ship it with the batteries. And without shipping it with the batteries, it's kind of going to be not as cool. So I think anybody in the U.S. that's a member, I will open this up to you guys and you know, give you an opportunity to snag this guy up and have some fun with it. You know, if you guys drive on the street, in your driveway, stuff like that, this thing would be absolutely awesome. Make a little short course track out there and have fun with it. Anyway, guys, thanks a whole lot to DEERC for sending this guy over. It's a very, very cool looking little car. I looked on Amazon before filming, and I believe it was right around $100, $105 or so. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to get any more info or potentially order one. But thanks for them sending it over. And like I said, one of the channel members is probably going to end up getting this. I'll put out a video specifically for the members and give you guys the info on it. Anyway, guys, everybody out there, as always, be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. See ya.